And we are going to ride the train to Value Town, because there's the Myriad trigger and there's the Venture into the Dungeon trigger. Today on Commander Replay, we find out what happens when you put a Blade of Selves on Nadaar Selfless Paladin. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing some Nadaar Selfless Paladin today, and today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Mango. Take a look at this opener. It's a lot of lands, but Blade of Selves with Nadaar is insane, and that will get us to card draw very quickly, so I do think we can keep this. We'll go ahead and keep. Looks like we're last in the turn order. Ashnod Flesh Mercanist coming in. 1 mana, 1/1 Death Touch. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create a tapped Power Stone. 5, exile a creature card from your graveyard, make a 3/3 zombie. Okay, it's interesting. And that is their commander, by the way, and that is Sergeant Flintlock piloting Ashnod Flesh Mercanist. Brings it to our turn 1. We draw into a Mentor of the Meek. Could be helpful. We'll go ahead. We'll just play the Mokokoro right here. Tap that out and pass. Just on the off chance of a wheel. Something weird. It's unlikely, but like really unlikely. But like a turn 2 Reforge the Soul or something like that. You never know. It was Bitter Blossom. That was pretty good. I was so sad when they spoiled that new white one. The white one, the creatures can't block, which is like a huge drawback. That's like one of the things that makes Bitter Blossom insane. I mean, also the flying, but the fact that you can just throw blockers out there all day long means that you need some form of evasion, and with Bitter Blossom, probably trample. That's a Gyre Sage coming in. Those are pretty good. Brings it back to our turn. That's a Settle the Wreckage. This is one that I added to the deck. There was a card that wasn't available on Magic Online, and I figured, you know what? I'm just a lot happier when I have Settle the Wreckage and Comeuppance by my side, so that's what I'm going with today. Oh, this is tricky. I was really hoping to avoid this, but we're going to play the Blade of Selves on 2. I was kind of hoping we would find a turn 2 play to not show this, because Blade of Selves is so incredibly good with Nadaar. Now, hopefully our opponents don't pick up on it right away, but yeah, you know, we have some skilled players in this game, so they might be asking a lot. We are just going to pray that they don't have removal, though. That is the plan that we're on. There's Bojuka Bog early in the game for no real value. Bojuka Bog is awkward like that. You should probably still run it. I should still run it because I don't run it that much. It is awkward when you catch it early in the game like that, and if you don't have other lands you can play. Honestly, I think kind of its best bet is, like, I've only done this a few times, but when you know you need the Bojuka Bog and you just tutor for the Bojuka Bog with something, preferably with something like a Diabolic Revelation that tutors multiple cards, but or like an Expedition map or something. But yeah, like, you know, like turn 6, 7, 8, that's where you really want to start thinking about that Bojuka Bog. This early in the game, the value is just kind of wasted. As you'll notice, I still haven't completely got my voice back. 20 days, January 1st. This started to happen. I'm filming this on January 20th. Been pretty rough. All the tests said it wasn't COVID, but I felt pretty awful for about 2 weeks, and I have not had a voice for 3 weeks now, so it's not been a good time. A Ranger class coming in. Opponent gets a Wolf. Gyre Sage gets bigger. Pumps up the Ranger class. All seems good. A lot of value that turn. Whenever they attack, put a +1/+1 counter. Oh, yeah, that makes sense in that deck. That is D-Manny piloting his Halana and Alena partners deck. Yeah, it's a Gruul deck. It puts a lot of +1/+1 counters on stuff, and by the mid-game, really big creatures will hit you for a lot of damage. There's a Cage Sun. We're a ways away from that one, sadly. Let's go ahead, play a Plains, cast our commander, start this value train. I asked Mango which dungeon they like to go into. They said Dungeon of the Mad Mage is usually where they go. So, you know, we'll do that, as that is the recommended dungeon here. Also, it's a lot of card draw modes, a lot of card advantage type stuff on this one, so we're going to go with that one. We gain 1 life. Not the most exciting mode, but once you start getting into scries and treasure tokens and stuff, that stuff's all nice. Twisted Caverns is really good. Target creature can't attack until your next turn. That one is very solid. I mean, I guess we're on curve to equip the Blade of Selves next turn. Yeah, that's a thing. That'll get us a lot of value. See what all this is going on over here. There's a Skull Clamp. That's never good. Opponent's going to draw some cards. I didn't see what they ate. When this enters the battlefield, make a 1/1. Okay, they made a 1/1, which they fed to the Skull Clamp. Yep. Okay. This looks like it's going to be some sort of aristocratsy nonsense. Aristocrats, not a deck type that I love. Jolt has schooled me with aristocrats enough times for me to not be a fan of aristocrats. I guess other people too. Aristocrats was one of those strategies that was still really strong going back 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It's been good for most of the life of Commander, where, you know, certain things, mono white, Boros aggro, you gotta really work at those decks to kind of make them good, you know, going back 5, 6 years. And Aristocrats just wasn't like that. It was just, you know, assemble 4 cards, win the game, generally, is typically how they play. So you gotta be real careful. You need a lot of graveyard removal, typically. Shoot the sack outlet at all costs, because once you see the win condition, it's too late. There's a Rishkar Pima Renegade coming in for D-Manny. Put some counters on stuff. Yep. Everything's a mana dork now. Seems pretty good. That Gyre Sage. 2 counters on there. It's pretty good. Fight rigging. Oh god. 3 mana enchantment. Hideaway 5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Okay. It's cool for a +1/+1 counter deck. And I'm sure they'll be there in no time. Vesuvan Diplomacy. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single artifact or creature you control, create a token that's a copy of that artifact or creature, except it's not legendary. Oh, right, it's the Orb effect, I think. Essentially. There's a Boreas Charger. Those are pretty cool. There's a green deck at the table. Eventually that green deck's going to find some lands. Let's play a Plains, equip the Blade of Selves. We're going to swing this into Sean, who is wide open, and we are going to ride the train to Value Town. Because there's the Myriad trigger, and there's the Venture into the Dungeon trigger. Scry 1, Plains. Do we need a Plains? The Plains is safe, but it's not particularly exciting. We'll keep the Plains. We do have a Cage Sun in hand, which increases the value. I'm thinking about the Boreas Charger too, but Boreas Charger is a little bit hard to control. There's the Myriad, so we'll make 2 copies. We're going to keep the original, but we do get 2 more ETB triggers here. Kind of want the treasure. Getting to that Cage Sun quickly seems like a real good idea. D-Manny says he has removal because he was kind of threatening the Blade of Selves, so we'll see if he shoots it this coming turn. Let's find out what the next room is. We scry 2. 2 Plains seems like more than we want. You know what? I'm going to put both to the bottom. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. Like, we have the Boreas Charger. We also have the Mentor of the Meek. We could go like Mentor, but we probably won't have enough mana for that, but Mentor of the Meek into Boreas Charger is more card draw. That's 3 damage to Sean, and we'll pass like that. What room are we in? Next one is exile the top 2 cards. You may play them. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is the card advantage mode. That is definitely one that you like. There's the Sword of the Animist. Yeah, those are good. Equips the sword. What I'm not thrilled about is that with the Gyre Sage and with the Rishkar, D-Manny's just going to have a lot of extra mana. Next turn, he can theoretically get his commander and hold up removal. Not great. 2/2 coming our way. It's got that touch. We are not blocking. They're going to get a land. Late in the game, if you have a lot of mana, you can actually make that block because then you recast Nadaar and get another trigger. Now, you probably want to have boots for haste or something like that, just so you're not losing the attack value, but I've seen people do it. There are times where it might make sense. Equips the Skull Clamp to their commander. Yep. Our final opponent, by the way, is Sean, piloting, Sevinne the Chronoclasm. I really have not seen much of this deck, and I even played I was at GP Vegas 2019 when those decks were released, and really just haven't seen very much Sevinne. That deck was pretty tough to play out of the box. It was really light on win conditions, as I recall. You're supposed to play it like a control deck, but it's just not built well enough to be a control deck, I feel like. The precon, that is. Obviously, once you upgrade it, you can do some pretty good things with it. It's a really funny card with Pariah Shield. Made Pariah Shield get expensive. Had trouble finding a copy, because I was looking for it for my Sisay deck at that point. 3/3 over to Flintlock. Puts counter on the thing. Yep. And Halana and Alena are in. Wow, he's got 5 counters on that thing now. That is so much extra mana. If I had a piece of spot removal, I would shoot that. That is absurd mana production. Luckily, he doesn't have too much card draw yet, but that's not a hard problem to solve in green. It'll show up eventually. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact or enchantment. Well, I think we're going to sacrifice the treasure. Although, if that was the piece of removal that he's holding up, that actually isn't too bad. So get rid of that thing, which Sean won't be thrilled about. He's got Power Stone, so he's not losing too much. Sean's the only one really losing much of value here. Maybe we should have went for the lands. There's a Bow of Nylea. Oh god, Death Touch. Ugh. You really don't see this one. Tribute to the Wind. With treasure tokens now, with the amount of treasure production out there, it's not a choice that I would really recommend, just because it's not going to be hitting the thing you want it to hit. Probably a good amount of the time. There's Sevinne. Yep. There's a Gauntlet of Power. Before we do any of that, let's just go to combat and do the thing. We'll swing into Flintlock this time. We'll Myriad. We'll Venture. Which one's which here? We're going to go for the Runestones and try to get some card advantage. Plains and a Solemn Simulacrum. Yeah. I guess we're playing them. Play the Plains, play the Solemn Simulacrum. That is a little bit of ramp, and I like that. And a blocker. I like that. Use the ability. Get a Plains, Myriad, make the tokens, venture into the dungeon more, keep the original. Scry 3. That is a solid one. Probably gonna want to find another land. There's a land. Love it. Those are 3 pretty good cards. We'll go Late to Dinner on top. Then we'll go Plains in the middle and Restoration on top of that. I'm actually not ready. Oh, we can cast one without paying its cost. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe I should have did that a little better, honestly. Yeah, let's just get it in there. Why not? Search your library for a basic Plains. I mean, are we just discarding it? We'll get the Plains. I don't know how that'll shake out, but Wow, we're up to 10 cards in hand. Pretty good, pretty good. Now we just need mana to cast them all. We sadly have nothing we can bring back with the restoration on the second mode. Yeah, actually, you know, drawing the cards here maybe wasn't the best idea. What are we getting rid of? I think we're going to get rid of the Charger. We'll get rid of a Plains. One to go. Really don't want to get rid of the second Plains. You know what? We'll get rid of the Mentor of the Meek because that card is very mana hungry. And for the moment, we have a little bit of card draw. So at this point, I think I'd rather take the lands and just keep making our land drops and stuff. So plus, I assume there's a Sun Titan in here. No Sun Titan. Oh god. Well, that is surprising. There's an Angel of Serenity, which can kind of get stuff back. No Sun Titan, you say? Well, at least there's a late to dinner if we really need something back. Opponent's gonna swing into us. They'll get a land and draw cards. I think I'm just gonna trade. Although, that's 3. That is 3 commander. You know what? D-Many doesn't have trample yet, so I am gonna hold this back. I really was thinking about this block. Also, we still have a very crowded hand, so the card draw is not super helpful yet. Flintlock, ramping like crazy though. Sword of the Animist. So good. So good. See, D-Many hasn't really found a lot of land, so if you play a board wipe and he doesn't protect against it, then he's gonna be hurting real bad. I don't know if we've actually read our commander, by the way. It's Nadaar Selfless Paladin. 3 mana for a 3/3 Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, venture into the dungeon. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little dungeon commander. Yeah, no block. And it's really at its best when you put a Blade of Selves on it. Speed your way through those dungeons. That's a Deluge for 7. Okay. I'm fine with that. Reset this game. And we get to draw a card. They'll draw 2. Yeah, that's a solid turn. They're shutting down D-Many, right? Because the second D-Many finds any size-based card draw, we're all in a lot of trouble. Anything we can get back? Oh, no. It only gets 2 CMC back. Nothing with 2 CMC. So disappointing. Draw with the Simulacrum. It's another Plains. Well, probably a good thing we kind of cycled through a few Plains with the Scry and everything else. No one else appears to have basic Plains, so we're in pretty good shape for the Gauntlet of Power, I think. Oh, you know what we can do? We can actually get a Plains with that. We can discard a Plains to get a Plains, which essentially ramps us 1, so that's actually decent. That being the case, I might have discarded an extra Plains and kept the Mentor. Oops. Hall of Heliod Generosity, putting this thing back on top. Okay. And Core Spirit Dancer. Interesting. Perhaps an Aura deck? D-Many pass without doing anything. Yeah, I think that board wipe might have gotten him pretty good. Yeah, that's the problem with Mana Dorks. I mean, these are both good Mana Dorks. Like, I would definitely run them in that deck, but at some point you just want to make your land drops also, which they have not done. There's our own Sword of the Animist. Excited about that one. Yeah, we'll do the thing and discard a Plains to get a Plains. I can feel it. This is only the second game I've played in the last month. I filmed one about 3 or 4 days ago. Get the Plains into play. And I just feel rusty because I had 2 weeks off for Christmas vacation and then I was really sick when I got back for the following 2 weeks. So it's been about a month. There's an extra Plains into play for us. Love it. Play this Plains. Does come in tap, sadly. I think we can go Bonder's Ornament, Gauntlet of Power, choosing white. And that's not a bad little turn. Pass the turn. We're up to 8 lands, which is surprising given that we're the white deck. I don't even know how did we get to 8? We got 1 extra off the, oh right, Solemn Simulacrum. Yeah, how about us ramping? Not looking so bad at the table now. Also, we're doubled because of the thing. Tripled if we get this one down. I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet. It's a question of whether we think a Vandal Blast or Austere Command might show up. If they do, it's good to have one in reserve. If they don't, triple mana is insane. You know what problem we do have though? Flintlock has been drawing cards like crazy. Flintlock's got 8 cards in hand. I mean, I guess we have a little bit too. I don't know. The Black Aristocrats deck just makes me more nervous. Skull Clamp, Bitter Blossom, that's a lot of card draw. There's a Cauldra Complete. Yeah, Flintlock's got some stuff going. Settle the Wreckage could be handy against a Cauldra attacker. D-Many's gonna use the Bow of Nylea to do 2 damage to the Bitter Blossom token. Yeah, getting busy with the Bow of Nylea. Nothing else going on. There's one of these though. Those are pretty good. Is Cauldra itself indestructible? Yes. Yes, it is. That is a concern. Like, we don't have a great... Yeah, here comes. We don't have a great plan against that right now. I don't actually know how this deck wins. Is it just value? Well, there's an Avacyn. Avacyn's a decent plan against that. Angel of Serenity would help a little. This can help us go wide. It's going to be a struggle. We can Voltron a little bit. There's no Black Blade, which would make it a much better fight. Yeah, it's kind of a weird little deck. Like, it's a little bit Voltron-y. And you can definitely go Voltron with it, which is probably not a half bad way to go. Mango has it built as more of a value deck. Animates the Ink Moth Nexus. Now it's got Infect. That's really the best thing that he's got. He puts a counter on it. Use this thing, put another counter on it. What does he have? I mean, he's got 4 mana, right? That should cast something. There's Scry mode in that? No Scry. I'm gonna put 3 Infect into Flintlock. Yeah, get that train started. What's the last mode of this thing? Oh, exile it. Whenever it attacks or blocks, get a 1/1. Yeah. Backside of this thing is pretty cool. Pretty cool. This card is like, it's much better than it looks on the surface. Like, when you look at it, you're like, oh, that seems okay, but it does a lot of little things that all kind of add up really nicely. Very underrated and I think a little bit overlooked, but it is very solid. Bravado. +1/+1 for each other creature you control. Interesting. Oh god. So with this thing, They recast the Diplomacy. They get a copy of the Core Spirit Dancer. They draw a card. Yeah, that all seems good. Sean making his way into this game finally. Getting caught up in some removal early on. Yeah, he's got a 4/6 Spirit Dancer with the second one. And if he plays more... Ooh, God. Now he's got a Serra Sanctum. That's a good card. Casts a Shram. Yeah, if he can cast one enchantment next turn, he is going to draw a lot of cards. And with the Serra Sanctum, that's an engine. Is what that is. Though he hasn't been doing as much up to this point, so it'll still probably take him a turn or two to really kind of get that thing churning, but once it does, 2 turns from now, I'm a little concerned about that. 5/7 over 2, D-Manny. Yep. One of the things that I really like about just like playing equipment and being kind of Voltron-y with my deck building is that like when someone plays a Toxic Deluge, you don't get hit by it that hard. A lot of the time. D-Manny lost a ton. We lost 2 creatures, one that we were ready to give up anyway, right? So, one's our commander. We just recast it. That is one of the nice things. Now, there are many weak points to Voltron decks, which is like spot removal and everything else. But yeah, not getting crushed by board wipes. Feels great. Our thing flips over. Yeah, it's a 4/5 with Gauntlet of Power in play. Let's play the planes. Can actually... Oh, it can't attack yet, can it? Disappointing. Blade of Selves and that won't do anything. Disappointing. Anything we need to shoot? Skull Clamp. Serra Sanctum. Both good targets. Let's see. There's still enough cards in people's hands that I don't want to just run the Cage Sun down there yet. I think it's just gonna be Nadaar. Yeah, let's get Nadaar. We venture. Back into the Mad Mage. What's this one do? That one's draw a card. It's much quicker to get through. We'll go Mad Mage. I like Mad Mage. Gain a life. Yep. Not the most exciting one. Let's get the Sword of the Animist. I think I'm going to activate Makokoro just to help D-Manny out a little bit. Also, we could use a card, right? Wouldn't mind setting up the next land drop. Dawn Charm. We'll put Blade of Selves back on Nadaar. And with 4 mana, we can sit on Settle the Wreckage or Dawn Charm as needed. Seems like a good place to be. Oh, you want to be crazy? If we get back the Mentor of the Meek with this thing, we'll make a lot of creatures. Although, with Nadaar and an Anthem, they would come in as 3/3s, right? No, colorless. Okay. Yeah, there's still 2/2s, at least for a little while. No, yeah, they'd still be 2/2s. Okay. So that's a thing we can think about next turn. We'll just pass like that and kind of see how this next turn cycle goes. Bitter Blossom. Ever-Flowing Chalice. Kicked 1 time. D-Manny's gonna ping the flyer. Love it. Doing the Lord's work over there. Slowing down that Skull Clamp at least a little bit. Yeah, we're getting to the point where some people are gonna have big turns now. Kakusho is a magic card. Yep. Skull Clamp on Kakusho. Bloodghast. Spicy. Also really good with Skull Clamp. Man, I haven't played Bloodghast in ages. I feel like playing Bloodghast now. Such a cool card. I love the little, I don't know if it's really a cycle, but you get like Bloodghast, Nether Trader. There's about 2 or 3 others that are... Sword of the Animist gets a land, which gets the Bloodghast right back. How about that? I need to build Bloodghast.deck. I think that's what I need to do. I mean, this is still a really cool Magic card. This was an unbelievably cool card when it came out. It was also very expensive for a long time. I still think it's probably not cheap, but I've got a bunch of them sitting in a binder. And, ooh, man, I kind of want this thing. This thing's pretty cool. That's going to survive. Yeah, we should probably try to like keep something in play. Yeah, we're going to regenerate the Architect. Yeah, Bloodghast, just really, really cool Magic card. Was there a good red landfall card out of Virgil's Zendikar? Can't think of what it is. There probably wasn't. Selfless Paladin, back to the command zone. Kakusho, gonna ding us all. Surprisingly, I don't think they attacked with this. Maybe just realizing the blocking potential. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, that's the Ink Moth. D-Man just gonna infect him to death? Puts counter on it. It's getting bigger. It's a 4/4. Oh, he's coming at us this time. Boo. Wow, gets another counter on it. It's getting there. A couple more turns of this. He's gonna have 1-shot lethal on people. In some sense, I'm relieved that the infect does not subtract from our normal life total, because our normal life total is a little lower than I like it. Tied for lowest in the game currently. So there's 5 infect. You got to be careful about that, though. I would love to not have to settle the wreckage, the Inkmoth Nexus. Still don't have a great plan for getting through this Cauldron, though. Sevinne back to play, yeah. Can block really well. Aqueous Form, now it's unblockable. They'll get a cop. No, it's non-legendary. Oh, wait, except it's non-legendary? Oh, that seems good. Seems very good. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery, copy it. Oh, God. Oh, God. So the second he finds a spell, there's going to be a lot of copies for that spell. Even as something as innocuous as like a Swords is insane if you're getting like 3 copies of it. I always want this thing to have flying. It does not. Skull Clamp is a magic card. If we don't recast Nadaar, these should be 1/1s. Yeah, we're going to be getting all the card draw, I think. The question is, do we get Mentor of the Meek first? Honestly, I think so. We need cards at this point. We don't currently have what we need to win, so let's get Mentor of the Meek. Yeah, we'll just use 2 planes. Comes in as a 3/3. Yeah, we don't have great attacks. 4 to equip that. Does have Vigilance, which is nice. Get the Animist on there. D-Manny's been beat up kind of hard, so I actually think we just go into Shrunken Double Block. which would not be great. Yeah, I guess it's got to be D-Manny then. It triggers, sort of the Animus triggers. Get a planes. Triggers a Mentor of the Meek. Beautiful. We use this thing because this one's a little expensive to activate. Pay the 1. Hearth and Home is a magic card. Hearth and Home plus Blade of Selves is so many Nadaar triggers. We also get a food token. We're gonna Skull Clamp the token. Now we get to get in on the Skull Clamp fun. Ooh, Oblation and Swords are very helpful. How much is it to recast Nadaar? 7. Ooh. Man, I want Nadaar, but it is risky to go shields down. What can we do that costs less than 7? We're going shields down. We still have the swords, though I guess we're not completely shields down, but D-Manny probably can't make too big of a play, at least in terms of like being aggressive. He might just keep running into removal, which is certainly a thing. Got to be a little worried about Flintlock, a little worried about Sean, but we've got a swords to work with. We get to scry one. What do we got? Eerie Interlude. Interesting. We'll keep it. Helpful for the next board wipe. Importantly, Oblation is an answer to this Cauldron Complete. What is this thing? Thieving Amalgam. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, you manifest the top card of that player's library. Whenever a creature you control but don't own dies, its owner loses 2 life. Okay. Skull Clamp on the Amalgam, it's a 7/6. It's pretty big. Animist onto the Germ. It's insane that with sort of the Animist, just how important it is to just keep pumping lands all game. Like, until you win the game, it is ideal to just keep getting more and more lands into play. Because, like, look at the situation we have now. We have really good mana. We have 10 lands. Maybe this is a land drop or something? Because we were 2 ahead of the turn count at some point. Oh, maybe we missed one this turn. We have 10 lands and a doubler, plus a mana rock, which is all very, very good. 6/6, you say? I think the 6/6 is just going to happen. Just keep watching our life total going down. But even with all this mana, because we have card draw, we're still having trouble deploying all of our cards. And, you know, to be fair, I could have played this Cage Sun a lot earlier. I was trying to be sneaky, be smart, and just, like, not get all of our stuff wrapped up into a board wipe. But I think we're getting to the point where we can probably just drop this down and really try to put our foot on the gas. Now, it'll still probably take another turn. Thieving Amalgam. But I think we're getting to that point. Mono Black not really helping us with the Hearth and Home here. Inkmoth Nexus. Where does he want to go? I would love to not have to burn a swords. Puts counter on it. Yep. It's going to keep getting bigger. Fight rigging. Even bigger. D-Manny hasn't seen a land. 5 turns. Somehow there's a Titan of Industry on the stack. Who played that? Oh, is that from the Thieving Amalgam? Yeah, it must be. No, that's the Hideaway. Okay. So D-Manny's got a little something now. Gets to shoot an artifact or enchantment. What's he want to shoot? There's a lot of prime targets out here. There has not been much removal for artifacts and enchantments. Gonna shoot the Bitter Blossom. Reasonable. I may have gone for the Skull Clamp. Bitter Blossom is annoying. Skull Clamp is... I mean, they're both really good cards. Bitter Blossom makes it difficult to get in with attackers if you don't have Trample. Well, maybe he's probably thinking about this. Yeah. Ew. Yeah, there is a lethal Inkmoth Nexus coming our way. Well, we're just gonna have to shoot that. Was really hoping to save that. D-Manny gained some life. Unfortunately for him, that's not a Path to Exile. Path to Exile would be much better for him. Said he had to try. Well, he's not in a situation where having to try is good, right? Like, you just kind of want to play safe right there, because that involves losing a land, which he can't really afford to do. He's still got the 7/7, which gives him, like, some attacking blocking power on the board. It's got reach. That's a thing. But I still have not figured out how we're going to get into Flintlock here. Micromancer. Search your library for an instant or sorcery. Oh, God. Find something, target it, copy it 3 times, copy... Oh, God. Yeah, I see where all this is going. Getting... Smoke Spirit's Aid. For X target creatures, create a red aura. Oh, dear God. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to its controller. This is going to be wacky. Yep, target all 3 of these things. Oh, right, single target. Right, this thing requires a single target. Okay, that's not as broken as I thought, though it still pumps up this Sarah Sanctum quite a bit. But if the creatures die, it gets treasure tokens, which is helpful for rebuilding. Can't be blocked. Coming in our way. I don't know what we did. Playing the mono white value deck, everyone else is just like, we can't get through that. With the sword, we can get through that, but opponents don't know about the sword. Good news is that gives us a safe attack into Sean with this thing, so we can keep getting 1/1s. Yep. Luxodon Warhammer would be a solid pickup, because I think we're going to need some life gain here pretty soon. Down to 17. Thieving Amalgam. Hope it's nothing good. Did we scry last turn? Oh, we did scry last turn. Well, we know what it is. We can Makokoro in response. Too late. What do we get? That's actually not terrible. There are a lot of artifacts and enchantments worth shooting here. So we can have a big removal turn, which doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Let's get this Cage Sun. Yeah, we need to be prepared if we do this, because if we drop this Cage Sun down, everyone's already attacking us that are really going to attack us after this. I think we've got enough interaction to do it. Choosing white. Oh, funny story. If we blink that, we can really do some damage. Okay. Yeah, we want to leave 7 up, though, so that's the important part here. Play the Mutt. I think Skull Clamp. His number's up. Crap. We are 1 short of leaving up 7. So we can't blink the thing yet. That's fine. Maybe we don't need to show the Hearth and Home yet. Yeah, we have 4, so I guess we just put this thing on Nadaar. That can't block. Those are all 2/2. Gross. We have a free shot on the D-Manny. Or we could just go into Sean. Sean's got a lot of life. D-Manny's been struggling. Yeah, we'll send this one too. Why not? So we get some Nadaar. We get a token. Ooh, we can draw. Draw. Not paying. We got to leave the mana up. Let's go Twisted Caverns, and we'll make it so this thing can't attack us. They can move the sword, though. Takes a lot of mana to do it, though, so there is that. Get a plains. We need to create some tokens. Keep the original. 7/7s. Wow. Only for a second, though. Now they're gone. Notably, we did the Sword of the Animus in the right order. Wasn't thinking about it, but lucked out. We get to scry, too. We'll want to plan for the Manifest. So, Blessed Sanctuary is cool. We'll go Blessed Sanctuary on top. And then plains on top of that. What's the next one? Oh, is it the play one? Yeah, I think we're making the 1/1s here because we don't have the mana for the other thing. It's going to be Moral's Graveyard. Would help with the go wide stuff because there's a lot of go wide over here. Also, there'll be 2/2s. Still can't afford the draw. Makes me sad. That is basically our turn, though. Well, we got to get the damage in here. He can block 1 profitably, but he's got to take a little bit. Block's the biggest one. Nope, going to block 2. Yeah, we're going to eat a creature. It's not bad. Tens a bit with what's on board. A lot of tokens. We have a lot of stuff. There's a Smoke's Blessing. 1 damage to itself and a treasure. Pass like that. Mortuary Mire. Target creature back on top. Who we get? Kakusho? Kakusho! Kind of bad for us. Our life is bleeding. Haven't found that Luxodon Warhammer yet. Need to find that thing. Black Market. Oh, God. Don't be the board wipe. Don't be the board wipe. That card is insane. Shadows of the Past. A lot of reason to play a board wipe now. So much value. Sad we lost that eerie interlude. Phyrexian Reclamation. Man, Flintlock's still at 37. Like, no one's touched Flintlock. Animist onto the Bloodghast. Yep. That makes a lot of sense. Bloodghast coming in. Yep. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. I think we can just block. I'm going to block with the commander just because we can get the commander back. We have a ton of mana, so it's not so painful if we lose it. I'm kind of thinking about those next couple rooms, though. Scry 3 and draw 3. Yeah, I think we're going to need those. If we block with this thing, would have made a 1/1. Whoops. Forgot it does that. Didn't really want to risk it, though, in just in case of, like, some weird random spell showed up. Black Market, Shadows of the Past. Seems good. Next turn might be Blade of Selves on Rambunctious Mutt. Possibly hit it with a Hearth and Home, too, because I would love to start clearing out these artifacts and enchantments. Thieving Amalgam. Puts counter on the thing. That is actually a problem, because we could block it profitably. Now we cannot. Does have trample. He just stays put. Yep, no vigilance, so makes sense. If he didn't try to kill us and we didn't shoot his land, he'd be able to activate War Room at this point, so that in itself might be something you look back on during the game. You're like, could have did that differently. Pariah, all damage that will be dealt to you is dealt to enchanted creature instead. Sean can't take damage. We still have the Oblation for that. It is annoying though. Gets a 3rd Sevinne. Real stalemate going here. Is there a Chroma's Will in this deck? It's kind of what we're looking at this point. No, a Chroma's Will. I don't know how we're getting through. Avacyn helps. Legion Loyalty also helps. Angel of Serenity would actually get a lot done because there's a lot of tokens out here. Just resetting certain things would do quite a bit. Karlach seems good. Hakim Loreweaver, what? There's one you don't see. Mirage. Return an aura card from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to Hakim. Only during your upkeep and only if it isn't enchanted. Spicy. Very spicy. Pretty sure I have one of these in a binder somewhere. The 2 attacks is a little concerning. Both in the Flintlock, okay. Maybe seeing the Black Market and, the Shadows of the Past, those are a little scary. Baleful Mastery, uh-oh. Well, that's actually good. That is removal that we don't need to spend to clean up some stuff here. And that gets rid of a couple auras, the Aqueous Form and the Pariah, which are both kind of a concern for us. There's the Karlach trigger. Karlach, I bought a bunch of them, probably about 10 of them, around $2. I don't know, a few months ago. They're up to like $5 now. After doing the tier ranking of the extra combat spells video, you kind of realize that like any of the good combat spells get expensive after time. Like they just, they all kind of settle in at least around $10 usually. And Karlach is a very good one. Like I like Karlach a little bit better than I like Mirag because Mirag can be a little bit unreliable. Also being 5 mana versus 6 is really good. Mirag is definitely good, but, there's a little bit of setup with Mirag, where Karlach is just cast it and attack with something, which is really straightforward. Plus, First Strike is like, by itself, First Strike is not insane, but in combination with other stuff, First Strike gains a lot of value. So First Strike means that, like, I don't know, if you were attacking with a 3/3 like this, it's going to be much harder to stack damage on it in the first combat so that it won't just die easily in the second combat. So the First Strike is nice. Also, I play a keyword stack, and It's pretty sweet in that too. That does trigger the Black Market and the Shadows of the Past and the Thieving Amalgam though. This turn we're going to have a lot of mana. This is 10 planes that all make triple. That's 30 white mana plus 2 or 3 more from other random things. 30 mana is about as good as you can hope for in a white deck. It is tough to get beyond that. That is 2 mana doublers, a Sword of the Animist, making most of our land drops, really hitting a lot of lands. In red, you just cast a Mana Geyser once, and that's like an easy 30 mana right there. Other colors have much easier ways of doing that. Cast a Black Market. Let it stay in play for a couple turns. It's going to make you a lot of mana. At the end step, we can crack Food Token, which might be a good idea. Just get some value. We unfortunately used our Makokoro and all this stuff already. 3/3 back into Flintlock. And Elesh Norn would crush on this board, because these would all get pumped up. A lot of these tokens would go away. Yeah, Elesh Norn would. We got a Norn in this deck? No Norn. Makes me sad. Elesh Norn is really powerful. In some ways, it might be the best one in the cycle, at least right now. Shieldred used to be really well positioned when, like, you know, Mizzix was a deck when creatures weren't as pushed and there just weren't as many creatures in play. Shieldred was really good for that. It's like, oh, you're just going to cast your commander? Cool. Cast Shieldred, watch your commander die. Now that there's such like a wide variety of decks, some have a lot of creatures, some don't. Shieldred can be like, it's still very, very good, but it can be a little hit or miss with the removal. Elesh Norn is almost always impactful when it hits play, and just, it is rare that someone has any sort of profitable attacks after an Elesh Norn comes down. It changes things so much. It is a rare circumstance in which the white card is either the best or like tied for the best in the cycle. Vorinclex and Jin-Gitaxias are very cool, but they are very expensive. They're so backbreaking that like, you have to play removal. Elesh Norn is a pain, but you can survive a turn or two with Elesh Norn in play. Like, you need to get rid of it eventually, but you don't need to kill it like the second it hits play. Vorinclex and Jin-Gitaxias, you need to kill basically the second they hit. Anyway, with all that, we're gonna crack this food token at the end step. That life, probably more relevant than we think. I think we've gained 2 or 3 with the dungeon ability. Now 3 with that, so, you know, an extra 5 or 6 life. Puts us back to 20, we're at half. You know, that might be enough to just stave off that one attacker that kills us, we'll see. There's the Thieving Amalgam, so we know it's a land. And there's the Blessed Sanctuary. Prevent all non-combat damage that will be dealt to you and creatures you control. Pretty cool effect. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, make it 2/2. We haven't really played a lot of creatures, so there's that. Yeah, I think we just cast it. Get the sword. Mana on the sword is going to be awkward. I guess we'll use the ornament. Maybe we'll use the Makokoro. We can use the Makokoro. We'll use the ornament. Equip the sword. Could move, like we should probably move the Blade of Selves. I kind of want that card draw though. We're getting a little light on cards. We don't have enough to push through really, so yeah, go to combat. This thing into D-Manny, this thing into Sean. I think everyone else is staying put. Go Nadaar. We'll put Sword of the Animist on top for... no, yeah, we've gotten past our Aura Scries. Okay. Sword of the Animist. Get a planes. Mega 1/1. That triggers the thing. We're going to have to use the Makokoro because I don't want to give up 3 mana. We do get to draw a card. That's a Day of Judgment. If we had that Eerie Interlude, that would be how we break through. Sadly, we do not. We get to put some things in attacking. Flintlock and Sean. Keep the original. So when you have a lot of mana like this, you can actually sacrifice the original and then recast it if you want more triggers. You do need a lot of mana to do it, though. That does fuel up Black Market and Shadows of the Past. I think we're going to want to shoot that Black Market with the blink. Nope, it's starting to freak out. Getting a little worried about this game. It's been a lot of value for a long time with no real payoffs. You know, Magic Online only goes for so long before things start getting dicey. Opponent gets a scry. Also, they're scrying a lot with all of this going on. Eventually, they're going to find the thing they're looking for. We get a scry 3. Need to think about the Amalgam. You just put the Loyal Warhounds there. That's helpful. Whenever one or more creatures you control it, they gain indestructible. Lauren is also helpful. Those are all pretty helpful cards. Okay. Lauren, third from the top. Guardian in the middle. Loyal Warhound on top. Oh, right. We're just going to draw them. Whoops. Forgot about that. Doesn't really matter what order we put them in. 3 pretty good cards, though. I can get down with that. Yeah, now we're talking. Let's get this Angel into play. Although, it's not going to work until next turn. Still, the most mana efficient thing to do. We can afford to cast the other 2 easily. Does Flintlock have more lands than we do? That's a question. I'm counting 11. I may have miscounted. It's kind of hard to tell. We do get a 2/2 off that, though. Okay. Yeah, we're starting to get pretty wide now, which I like. Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We gain a life. Keep that life coming. That's an 8/8. That is sizable. And it's flying, which is really good on this board. How does this work, though? Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, they gain indestruct. Does it apply to all your creatures? That is very strange wording. I think it applies to all of them. Sean's just going to block. Yep. Sword of Hearth and Home. Blink the Mutt. Oh, we can blink the thing. What happens if we blink? It probably just goes to the grave. No, we just go to the graveyard. Would it go to the graveyard? I don't know. Blinking a manifest token. That's a new one on me. Especially like if it's not a permanent. If it is a permanent, it might come back. Let's get a plains. Blessed Sanctuary triggers. Rambunctious Mutt. Let's definitely get rid of the black market. We probably have more lands than Flintlock now. That's 10, 12, 13. Yeah, I think so. So we probably won't get any value off the Loyal Warhound, but it's a 3-1. That with a bunch of pump effects, so probably just run it out there. Do need to leave up mana for our interaction, though. We're getting very wide now. Still, the army of 2/2s are a problem. Cast the Warhound. Ooh, Demon is going to Krosan Grip our Hearth and Home. That's probably a pretty good idea. That does slow us down, though. He probably wanted that to happen. He probably wanted the black market out of play, which is probably why he let that happen, but he is the green deck, so he's not going to want to take too many more punches there. Don't know if we have a way to get that back. Blessed Sanctuary triggers, more 2/2s. Unfortunately, they're bigger than 2/2s, so they're not triggering the Mentor of the Meek. Yeah, that's an awkward card. We'll get Lauren into play. Blessed Sanctuary, Lauren. Shadows of the Past is concerning. Phyrexian Reclamation is also a bit concerning, but at least it's slower, eats mana, eats life. It has a lot of life to work with, but at least it's something. The Meteor Golem. I'm trying to save the Meteor Golem for Sean's land, but we have the mana for the Meteor Golem right now. However, if we do that, that means we can't Skull Clamp. Honestly, I think I just want the Skull Clamp. Get Skull Clamp. This is probably the first thing to die, so... Yeah, we probably actually could have given up Nadaar at some point in this turn. That's okay, though. Pass like that. If everything kind of holds up the way that it has been, Flintlock is actually low on cards now, which is good. Though he's been scrying like crazy. Sean is also low on cards. So if everything holds up, we can actually think about pushing through with Indestructible on someone next turn. I've really been enjoying this card. This card is super sweet. Fantastic in Tap Creature Tribal. Much needed artifact and enchantment removal. That's a Dreadhorde General. Creature you control dies, draw a card. Luckily we have so many tokens that we don't care that much about the sacrifice. D-Manny cares. Sean would care. If I'm them, yeah, I'm probably going for the minus to get the card draw. No, they make a thing. Yeah, I'd probably go for the card draw right there because that seems to be their... We shot the Skull Clamp and we slowed down their card draw significantly, so... Hammer of Nazan. Going to be even harder to attack. Be 2 indestructible creatures. Amalgam. Fortunately, Hammer of Nazan itself is not indestructible, so if we get busy with the Mutt more, then we can take it down. Getting busy with the Phyrexian Reclamation, bringing back Callous Blood Mage. I think there's a draw card mode on that. Yeah, I have to imagine they're going for that. Exile and Graveyard. Graveyards are okay. Both modes are good here, either drawing the card or exiling the grave. I am excited about next turn, if everything holds up this way, if we can just go into Flintlock and mash up with their creature. They're going for Exile the Graveyard. Okay. Yeah, that's Hearth and Home going down. That's a pretty good one in this deck as well. Everything else just kind of value bits, things that are nice, but doesn't seem like there's a ton of reanimation in this deck either, so. Is there a reanimation mode on any of these? I don't think there is. Any of these dungeons. The thing is, even if we full-scale Flintlock, I don't know if, that kills him. Although, if all of our creatures get indestructible the way that I think this thing works, then we can just cast Day of Judgment afterwards, and that will clean up a lot of problems and give us a window of opportunity and try and win this game. D-Manny still hasn't seen a land in 8 turns now. That is rough. I'll tell you what, we're having trouble pushing through for damage, but Mango is really good at building a mono-white value deck. Value, it's gotten a little easier over the years. 3 years ago, it was a lot harder to build a mono-white value deck. But it's still not the easiest thing to do. If you're looking for a challenge within Commander, building a mono white deck that draws well and ramps well is still fairly challenging. And a lot of times it involves opening your wallet quite a bit, which is sad. Yeah, Mango's ability to build a mono white value deck is top notch. Because, I can definitely tell, something like Rambunctious Mutt is in here, obviously for the Hearth and Home combo, because you wouldn't run this card for any other reason, really. Little things like that, and I love me some Hearth and Home combos, I love sort of Hearth and Home. Nothing makes me happier than blinking a Flame Tongue Kavu and just annihilating everyone's creatures. That is my happy place. Sevinne back to play. It's gonna bring it back to our turn. Thieving Amalgam. Yeah, this thing really makes a lot of tokens, doesn't it? Been out there for quite a while. Couple board wipes early, not so many late. We draw planes. Play a planes. I think we just send it all in the Flintlock. We could do other things, but honestly, it just makes me happy watching creatures get tangled up like this. Smash into each other, all the creature combat, all the creature death. Or probably... No, we did shoot that thing that scries. Okay, that is important. What does D-Manny have? Beast Within on the Angel. That is disappointing. I'm gonna try to just luck our way into a protection spell or something. Activate Lauren. It's a Knight of the White Orchid. That is not a protection spell. That does trigger Skull Clamp, which is not the worst thing. that's ever happened. We were getting a little thin on cards. Arcane Signet Burnished Heart. Yeah, this is the problem with the value deck is now we're having trouble punching through. So, how many blockers does D-Manny actually have? Because I still think we need to save the Oblation for the Cauldron. Since D-Manny wants to use all of his removal on us, I think I'm just going to try to kill him here. I was going to try to tangle up Flintlock, but with this going down, it's not going to be as profitable to do that. 2 indestructible blockers is a headache. Oh, it's a 9/9. Jesus. Well, that's 20. He can block 1, 15. There, that should be lethal. Sean's got enough of those that is... we'll send this thing into Flintlock. Crap, I should have put the Skull Clamp on thing first. More Nadars, because I'm probably going to sacrifice the original Nadaar. Get through this dungeon quicker. Scry 1. Plains to the bottom. Myriad. Keep a token. More dungeons. Twisted Caverns is good. Karlach can be scary. So is this thing. Scry 2. Angel of Serenity is a sight for sore eyes. So is Mask of Memory. On top. He's gonna block and kill the Warhound. D-Manny goes down. We exile Nadars from combat. That does cut down some of the tokens. That is good news. So finally a player going down very far into this game. Just under 2 hours. Next is Cast Nadaar for 9 mana. Ooh, I guess that's only 3 lands for us, which isn't so bad. Blessed Sanctuary and the Nadaar trigger. We're going Runestone this time. We exile 2 cards and we can play them. It's going to be that Angel of Serenity. Way overtapped. And a Mask of Memory. More 2/2s. Those unicorns are 5/5s. That's no joke. We're going to go the Germ, the Amalgam, and one of the cards owned by us. Use the ability. Oh, we could have gotten this thing back. It has to die. I don't know. We can put Blade of Selves in that and really get wild. That'll be cool. Although, that's an exile. Was it Leaves the Battlefield? Oh, it's a Leaves the Battlefield. Yeah, that would work. Get Arcane Signet. Burnished Heart. Another thing. Cast the White Orchid. Blessed Sanctuary. Makokoro. Just put this on... Put that on here, I guess. And we'll pass like that. So we got a player down. We've whittled down Flintlock a little bit as well by taking down a bunch of the tokens and the Angel. Flintlock's down to 1 card. That's tricky. I mean, we get decimated by a board wipe. We really don't have much for the board wipe other than just recast Nadaar and try to get back to it. Yeah, sacrifice 2 creatures. Okay. We have a lot of 5/5s. Blessed Sanctuary with 3 Anthem effects. Yeah, what's up? The 2 creatures on Sean is going to hurt a lot. We'll go for this tapped zombie and what else? I guess one of these 2/2s. Yeah, we have a lot of 5/5s. We should be okay. Our clock is running very low. That being the case, I think I'm just going to F6 the next chance I get and hope that doesn't bite us. Grave Titan is a magic card. Equips the Cauldron to the Grave Titan. We can block that. First strike doesn't... No, it does have death. That's tough to block, actually. So, that being the case, we're going to turn off auto yields, put that thing onto it, and we're just... Why can't we cast this right now? Here comes the Grave Titan. Yeah, the first strike death touch is a problem. Time to finally get rid of this Cauldron. Would have ideally done it before it attacked, but I think we should be okay. Now it's just a regular Grave Titan. That's got first strike. Anything else with first strike? Gets a Blood Gas back. We'll trade in 2 5/5s. Seems pretty good to get rid of a Grave Titan. Go back on F6 and hope it doesn't bite us. They draw a card. See what Sean's got. Celestial Ancient. There's one you don't see. So he's got an aura theme going on with his deck. He got hit with removal at just the wrong time when he's trying to set up with the Spirit Dancer and the other thing. Sigarda's Aid, yep. Because if he had gotten like 1 cast with that, he draws a lot of cards and is probably just in much better shape the rest of the game. Flying is kind of a thing. I was planning to just hit him in the air with the thing, and now he can just block. With Flintlock still at 40, I don't think we have enough to kill both. I haven't really done the math. Flintlock still has a ton of blockers, although if we Blade of Selves the Angel of Serenity, that gets rid of 6 more creatures. That does actually help quite a bit. He's going to Rite of Replication on our Angel of Serenity. Hadn't counted on that. Do we have a way to kill our Angel? We do not. Okay, this is going to hurt. What is that, 18? Is that 18 creatures exiled? First 3? Oh, he went single. Oh, he only went single mode. Okay. Nadaar to the command zone. He didn't overload that. Kicker or whatever it's called. D now has 2 flying blockers. Seems good. There's the Warhammer that's been missing all game. That's gonna help. Does he try and attack? He could actually... No, he doesn't. Okay. Didn't get to do our end step stuff. That's okay. All right, we need to get a bunch of stuff in. We need to be quick. The game is lagging a lot. Our clock is burning down. Soul Ring. Get the Warhammer. Who's getting suited up? I haven't really figured that out. Orchid seems pretty good. Seems like a good candidate. Oh, you know what we could do? We can go Meteor Golem. Let's Sanctuary Meteor Golem. Shoot this thing. Get our creatures back. I think we're just going to go after Sean's stuff. We got to get people out of the game. That. What else do we need to move? Move this over here. Sean scoops. Okay. Well, that'll make this an easier attack then. That being the case, put that on there. Now I think we can just send it. Angel of Serenity is tricky like that. 2 of them is always really wild. Get some triggers. Mentor. Pay. Keeper of the Core. I hope this is lethal. I don't know if it is. Blocks 3 biggest ones. More blocks. They're going to draw a lot of cards. Yeah, with the Liliana. Well, a lot of chances to find a board wipe. And we do not have a lot of time left on our clock. That's not good. Should have sent this one into the Liliana. That's a lot of Liliana triggers. We have a giant board and they don't. Normally I would cast, I would recast Nadaar. I'd probably get this thing in, probably get that thing in. But given that our clock is winding down, I might get the Mutt to shoot this thing. That's actually a good idea. There is a world in which this could lose us the game. Even just by virtue of, like, getting blockers and timing us out. Pass like that. Come on. 14 cards. Did they find a board wipe? It's gonna be real bad if they did. They're gonna do that. Well, we're gonna draw a card. Anything else we need to do? Love to crack the Burnish Sharp, but the time it takes. That's an Angel. That's a Chancellor of the Annex. That's a cool card. Love this card. Phyrexian Angel. Great for a situation like this where it's late in the game, a lot of mana, a lot of cards. Slow everything down a lot, although Commander Sphere is not a board wipe. 13 cards to go. They don't have it. Okay, well, I'm going to crack the Burnish Heart. They do not have... Oh, God. I way overtapped. Get the lands. Draw a card. Cave of the Frost Dragon. What does this one do? Can make it a 3. Did they find the board wipe? Lithoform Engine. Scary. Opponent said he didn't find the board wipe. He can get one more draw with... well, if he killed his Bloodghast somehow, if he killed his creatures, he'd get a couple more draws. Erebos Intervention. I'm going to shoot a creature. Okay. We got some work done with that thing. That thing spit out a lot of tokens. It was really big. Yeah, cool little card. Reassembling Skeleton. Attacks with the Bloodghast. No blocks. Yeah, it was kind of a weird game in that, like, a lot of value. No one really pushing across lethal or any sort of win condition for 13 turns. It's basically just like, slowly build up over a long time and then watch everything on the ground get into a giant stalemate, and no one had a way to push through, which was you really don't see too many games like that anymore. Like, someone usually finds something. There's just too many powerful cards to not find any of it. Our clock is almost down, so we're just gonna go straight to combat here. Send it all. Finally goes down. Wow, long game. 13 turns, over 2 hours. Yeah, honestly, I think the deck needs a few more ways to push through. Maybe it doesn't need to be an Elesh Norn. A Chroma's Will is very helpful for this sort of stuff. What's that card? Commander's Plate. Really helpful for getting that damage through, because very few things can block Nadaar once that's in, so... those might be some things to look at. Yeah, just another way or two to actually close the game out. Wouldn't say no to a True Conviction either. Something like that maybe. So yeah, that might be the couple things that I look at. But other than that, I thought the deck played really well. We valued like crazy. And we got to do the thing. So that was very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.